The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Sorry for the delay. I'm watching him play headphone games here, trying to mix and match and get the right ones on the right heads. Or something like that, whatever it is. Anyway,
matches her outfit better.
Has to match the hairdo, not mess it up around the ears, all those kinds of things, yeah?
Exactly.
Important details. Anyway, aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where you'll find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support the needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, you'll find us sharing some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies, just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today we're going to start off the show talking with Elise Ditzel from the Maui Ocean Center and their nonprofit agency, which is
Maui Ocean Center Marine Institute.
Marine Institute. Cool.
Aloha.
Hi, how you doing?
Wonderful, thank you.
You know, I'm so fascinated by what you guys do over there and what the Institute is doing because it's an ongoing battle to keep the ocean safe for the creatures that are in it.
Yes, unfortunately, we do have a hurdle ahead of us. We have had some years of abuse, but I think that the tide, sorry for the pun,
Cool.
is turning. There is such a groundswelling of support. Maui is so unique in the terms of just the amount of people who want to come out and volunteer. And so the Maui Ocean Center Marine Institute has really greatly benefited from this passionate, dedicated community that comes out with us to do our monthly beach cleanups. We also remove debris off of the reefs themselves. This is just part of our ongoing dedication to restoring, preserving, and hopefully safeguarding Hawaii's reefs for the next generation.
And it's so important. So important.
It's the foundation of a healthy ocean, really.
Right.
Yes, it's fundamental to everything else that we want to see in our beautiful, vibrant blue ocean.
Exactly. Some of the things that kind of intrigued me about the materials that I was reading through in preparing for the show, talking about fishing around sea turtles. We keep thinking that turtles are basically what you see in the sandy beach. We forget that they are actually out there swimming in the ocean.
Yes.
And that accidents happen.
Unfortunately, yes, that does. That's a part of life sometimes.
So what, safety first, what if you happen to be out in the ocean and you accidentally, we're assuming that nobody's going to do this on purpose, what's the thing to do when they find or they see a turtle in distress?
So we have been very blessed that we have a dedicated team at the Maui Ocean Center Marine Institute who has a long history of experience with working with sea turtles. And so we have a hotline that is wide, island-wide. And so anyone who does see a turtle that is in distress or looks injured, or there just seems to be some questions as to their safety, can call that hotline. It's a 24-hour, 7 days a week available to anyone and everyone that does see a sea turtle that could use some support.
And that number is the 888 phone number?
That's correct.
It's
888-256, yeah.
9840.
Yes.
Okay, 888-256-9840. Now, there's something that you can do if you're able, I think the list starts out here, talks about reeling in the turtle with care, hold the turtle by the shell or flippers, cut the line close to the hook, release with no line attached. If you're able to do that, you can take care of it by yourself.
Yes.
But if it's more entangled, pardon the expression,
Unfortunately, that does happen. Fishing line can sometimes come around one of the flippers or one of the other limbs, and because of the amount of debris that is out there, sometimes there is some sea turtles will have multiple injuries from fishing lines, and in those instances where they're either punctured the skin or there's multiple incidences on a particular turtle, we do recommend calling that number.
Right. And then what, staying close by so they know?
Yes, so then we'll come out and assess and usually bring them back to our quarantine area where we can do further intervention.
Gotcha. Interesting. Like I say, I'm not an ocean person as such. Matter of fact, I can't remember the last time I put my foot in the water.
Oh,
I think it was getting on the boat to go on the nonprofit director's cruise a couple years ago.
Queen's Treasures.
Yeah. That's just, I love looking at it from a distance or even up close, but I just don't go in the water. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I was raised in the Midwest. We didn't have salt water.
You're more into going in the rivers.
I'm lake water and
Yes.
river water and backyard swimming pools, that kind of thing. But for those who are out there, I mean, be alert, pay attention. If you see something happening, see a turtle in distress, kind of check it out and make that phone call.
Yes, please.
Again, that number is 888-256-9840. Now, one of the other things that we were talking about was the fishing line recycling program, which I just, it's hard to imagine needing a recycling program for fishing lines. But again, I grew up on the Ohio River where your fishing line was very valuable to you.
Oh,
Because we didn't buy it in huge reels or anything. You went out and you fished for a little something.
Well, Maui has actually a high percentage of people who do fish on a regular basis to bring home sustenance for their family. And in fact, I think it's the highest in terms of the percentage of population that does actively fish at least once every 2 months out of the entire state. So it's a combination of those things, the frequency with which people are fishing, and then also, versus fishing on a lake or in a river, the ocean can be very turbulent. So sometimes accidents happen and someone actually loses just their line. So I think that the opportunity to recycle the fishing line, whether you're finished with your lines for the day or you see other debris that's just happened to be there or further out in the water, you can actually take those materials and put them into these beautiful receptacles that we have placed around the island.
It looks like the submarine eye. Telescope
Yes.
coming out of the ground. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be fancy. It's just, it works. It's PVC
Yeah, it's cool.
piping and it works.
It's cool. Now, how many beach sites do you have these?
I believe we have 30
Really?
different sites.
Wow. So just toss it in there.
Just toss it in there and we will dispose of it in its proper place.
Very good. That's neat. That's good to know. The other thing that intrigues me is when you have beach cleanup. I'm appalled at what you collect. Now, this particular one I'm looking at was earlier this month. Malama Land and Sea, Kealia Beach and Reef Cleanup. Like 50 volunteers spent 2 hours.
Yes.
That's it. 2 hours.
It's amazing how effective you can be with just 2 hours of time.
3,300 items collected. Of course, leading off were cigarette butts at 850 items. It's like, come on, people.
Well, you have to keep in mind that it's not necessarily people are smoking just right there, but that, it's such a light item, it can travel quite a bit of distance. So it does eventually always end up either on our riverbeds or at the beach almost invariably. So we do highly encourage people to actually put your butts in the trash can.
Nicely stated. So then other things that we're looking at, we had paper and cardboard, food wrappers, glass pieces, hard plastic pieces, plastic film, plastic bottles, plastic caps, foam pieces. I mean, that's incredible. And I think the one that really gets me is the truck door.
Yes, we have had lots of fun. I mean, each beach cleanup is unique to itself because the volunteers that join us will change from time to time. But we do have a beach and reef cleanup that we do every second Sunday of the month at Kealia Beach. And Sugar Beach there. And some of the things that we have removed include car axles, a mattress. That was really actually quite scary because we removed the mattress from the reef itself. We were doing a snorkel cleanup, and it took quite a crew of us to actually bring that in. It was all waterlogged. And yeah, so it's interesting. We always find something you just never would have expected. It's unfortunate that these things do end up in our beaches and on the reefs there, but at least we are, like I said before, turning the tide. And with the passionate and dedicated Maui community, we are making a change.
And with the currents, the currents the way they run around our island, you can kind of tell where this stuff is coming from, right? I mean, to some extent.
Yes. So most of the items are coming from those areas that are most frequently used, right? So our harbor, the boat ramp down in Kihei. So those areas, because there's such a density of population and use of those areas, and almost invariably you'll have more debris that comes from those particular areas.
So in a good way, that area is kind of clean because everything has been washed further down or further around.
Well, I don't know about that. We did do a cleanup at the harbor earlier this year, and the beach itself was pretty clean, like a run around the harbor there, but the grass area, that whole kind of just undeveloped, just that rough and tumble area there had quite a bit of debris. So we spent actually the majority of our time in that area.
I see, yeah. If we had a good rain, it would end up in the ocean.
Yes,
So
unfortunately.
you've got to clean that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very important to clean the uplands. So sometimes we did do a cleanup not that long ago in some of the valleys over on the Lahaina side. Further up, we actually had to take some 4x4 vehicles to get up to those upper areas of the watershed. But all those things do eventually come downstream and into our ocean. So spending time actually upstream does benefit our beaches.
Gotcha. That when they had the flood and the fire, did that cause you to have to go in and do a lot of extra work in that area, or was it fairly...
Well, the issues with that is more about sediment.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that is something that's very traumatic to our reefs, but require more diligence on our part as a community to look at ways to mitigate those kind of impacts, further upstream.
I see. Interesting. Okay. It wasn't what was left over from the fire that the rain pushed down, but more of what was on the ground.
Right, because those things have become more friable because they were burnt.
Right. Interesting. Everything affects the ocean, and
Yes,
the
it
ocean
does.
affects everything.
And and rightfully so. That it covers over 2/3 of our globe, and it's an incredibly important resource, not just for sustaining economies and food and but enjoyment for physical activity, and for me personally, it is a place of refuge. I just get such a spiritual healing by going into the water myself. So it serves and provides so many things for so many people. It's definitely worth safeguarding.
Sounds like this is the perfect job for you as director of marketing for the Maui Ocean Center.
I do have to say, I do enjoy the opportunity to help educate and to make a difference in my small little way. I have a background in hydrogeomorphology and just water quality issues.
Hello. One more time.
Hydrogeomorphology. So I studied river systems and human impacts actually on river systems back in California, back in the day.
Oh, that must have been like yesterday.
Oh, I wish. No, not quite.
Let's say you have enough experience that you know what you're looking at.
Yes, and it has always been a passion of mine. I love the ocean and the water. Like I said, it's a place of refuge and spiritual healing for me, and I have always been very keen to do what I can do, because that's all any of us really can, but
Right.
sometimes we can get frustrated because we're wanting to do more. But if we focus on the things that we can do from day to day, they will eventually have a big impact.
It all adds up in the end run here.
Yeah.
We need to take a short break, and we'll be right back with, we've got Elise Ditzel from Maui Ocean Center, the Marine Institute. Why did I have so much trouble with that?
That's okay.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, a weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out what's going on in their world. And today we started off the show talking about things like beach cleanups, helping turtles in distress, all these fun things that like I know there's people who hit the beach every minute they can. I mean, that's why they live here.
Yes.
And like you.
Yes, exactly.
The dream job to be in Hawaii and do this. But for some of us, it's not. But it would have an effect on those of us who love to look at the ocean.
Oh, absolutely.
If people like you weren't out there keeping it clean.
Well, and then, of course, it's beyond just the visual. There are animals and other beautiful species that populate these waters, and they greatly benefit from when we take, as a community, dedicated steps to ensure their health and well-being. And, the number one issue, of course, is primarily marine debris, and that's human impacts that we can slowly, but I shouldn't say slowly, but that we can make changes that have big impacts. So whether it's removing, like, for example, the rubber plastic bags that we did quite a few years ago, you used to see those everywhere, and now you don't see them. It's just beautiful. Like, when I go back to the mainland, I'm like, what is with all this plastic bags? You forget that they used to be ubiquitous here as well. And then, of course, the styrofoam, and that's going to be going away. And so these things, although seem simple, they have big, big impacts. And the most recent turn is the idea of, do you really need a straw with that drink?
Right.
So there's a variety of other products out there, including paper straws, which we've implemented at the Maui Ocean Center, or there's these beautiful reusable bamboo products that you can, if you want to sip your iced tea. But of course, you can always just forgo the straw.
It would be interesting sometime to take a list like what we just talked about of what was collected a couple of weeks ago and compare it to like 10 years ago.
Oh, yes.
The kinds of things they were collecting and the quantities. And like you say, you add to that the styrofoam, the plastic, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, hello, there's still some in here, but plastic, we still have plastic bottles is still a big issue.
Yes, it's funny. One of the things that really sticks out in my mind every time we do one of these cleanups is the amount of food containers and just a variety of food containers. So if we could, as a community, be more diligent in thinking about what am I going to do with this now that I've finished up eating my lunch or whatever other meal it is, and making sure that gets put away in a safe place and not going to be wind blown. Because, of course, we do live in a very windy area, especially around Ma'alaya. We can have quite a bit of wind. So you need to be thoughtful when it comes to those sort of things if you want to ensure that that's not going to end up on the beach or ultimately in the water.
Right. And the sometimes you put things aside and you say, well, when we get ready to go, I'll put this in the trash can over there. Well, then you go back in the water, you come back, it's gone, you forget all about it, and it's down the beach a little ways.
Right.
And next thing you know, it's in the water.
Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, it's paying attention to, I always think you should leave a place the way you found it.
Or even better than you found it. How
or
about
better,
that?
There you go. I like that. Yes, leave it better than when you found it. Perfect.
Because
Perfect.
you don't have to wait for an official beach cleanup with a bunch of other volunteers. Every time you go to the beach, you can bring an extra trash bag with you and go, we're going to just take 5 minutes before and 5 minutes when we're leaving and just remove those materials that don't need to be there.
Right, right. Or even just walking to wherever you're going to camp or park yourselves on the beach, pick up things along the way and
Absolutely.
coming back as well. Or if you see somebody else who's not paying attention, ask if you can have their trash. Boy, what a concept that would be, huh?
I like this idea.
You know, ask me if this is trash. No, how could you come up with a campaign? I think that would be kind of cool. Meet your neighbor on the beach. Can I take care of that trash for you? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Come on, everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy here.
You never know. That might be just the next thing that we do in 2019, this new campaign.
You know, sometimes it takes a really strange thought like that to spark something.
Right, to provoke people's thought process in a different way than they had previously been thinking.
That's out-of-the-box thinking, huh? Yeah. And not a plastic box.
Right.
Okay, so now the other thing we wanted to talk about is the big nights you've got coming up at the Maui Ocean Center. The
Yes.
Season of Giving Holiday Shopping and Charity Night.
Yeah, so this is our annual event that we do at the Maui Ocean Center to kick off the season of giving. This is, of course, the holidays are a time of people when they think about how can we give back and what can we do to show and express our love and appreciation for family and friends. And so, of course, we're going to always be doing some shopping as part of that. And so we open the Maui Ocean Center for a magical evening with Santa Claus, with some special deals in the gift shop there's at the Maui Ocean Center. And we do a special holiday menu. But then we also, of course, have live entertainment, and we're really excited. We have the Maui Community Band coming back to perform.
Well, I saw them on the as one of the benefiting organizations, and I thought, oh, I wonder what the connection is. There it is.
They're amazing. And so the evening will have a variety of fun things to do, including cookie decorating. We'll have dive presentations with scuba claws, and we're doing a toy drive as well as a rice drive for the Maui Food Bank. But most importantly, the proceeds from the evening, it's only $9.95 to get in, will benefit some amazing nonprofits, including the Maui Forest Bird Recovery Project, the Maui Nui Marine Resource Council, the Maui Children's Justice Center, the Maui Ocean Center Marine Institute, the Food Bank, and so it's an opportunity that people can come, have fun with the whole family, enjoy the season of Santa Claus and taking photos with him, and doing something that will give back to these organizations at the same time.
That's cool, and I like. You've got the regular admission to the park is $15, but it's going to be $9.95 that night if you bring an unwrapped new toy or a 5-pound bag of rice.
Yes, for the Maui Food Bank.
That's cool. So when we start talking about toys at Christmas time, we always have to talk to. Do we? Yeah, we always have to talk to him because he's kind of Mr. Toys.
Yes.
For like this 6 weeks before Christmas, right? Mm-hmm. Right up to Christmas Eve and even Christmas Day sometimes.
Oh, I've delivered up to Christmas Eve, yes,
yeah.
for sure.
It's Santa Paul.
Yeah.
Santa Paul. There we go.
Yep.
We have Santa. We have Scuba Claus and Santa Paul.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Paul, talk to us about the Children's Family Justice Center, as well as the Friends, which is what you're part of, and how you organize and how things that are donated that night and other nights and other events.
I just want to. This is important, Elise, thank you, and thank you, Maui Ocean Center, because all the community partners that we have out there that do drives like this. Last year we gave away 2,200 gifts to children in need. That's huge. We didn't have to turn any child away. So we have an abundance of support island-wide, but to do an event like this, which actually brings in and does healthy activities for the children with the cookie decorating, and it's a really fun event. It's sort of a little dark walking around inside there,
Right, you get to see the sharks in their night behavior. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's really a cool event. And you know what? It's about collaborating and like the food bank. The food bank feeds the neglected children we serve. So everything touches each other. You know what I mean? Right. The aquarium will enhance the lives of children in need by going there and having a special night out, which they don't tend to have. So we're promoting this with Child Welfare Services for the foster youth, and the Friends will help cover the cost for them to go in. We have some grant money for things like
Okay,
that.
so they'll be right there at part of
That's
the event.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
so,
neat.
Yeah, so again, you don't realize one simple thing you do at the Ocean Center is going to touch a bunch of different lives. Or if you're giving to the food bank, you're touching part of the Friends, or vice versa. You know, if we're making children healthier, they're going to be able to grow up and become productive adults and not need the needs of the food bank.
Right.
You know,
right.
so.
Interesting. That's great. I didn't realize that some of the children will be there and get to take part in this whole event.
Yeah, we always put
That's
it
great.
out there because we have a big Christmas party for all the foster kids December 22nd, which is huge because they never get to benefit. And we have funders that come in and fund it. And it's an event at Kahili Golf Club, and it's amazing. And it's 100 youth. And one of my funders came last year, and she just sat there and cried. Mr. and Mrs. Claus come, and I mean, it's just... It's showing the people in the community in this event, Seasons of Giving, right? It's the same thing. It's showing the Maui Ocean Center showing that we care
Right.
about our community in general. It's not about us. We're reaching out and making sure that we can help others.
Right.
There's nothing more satisfying than taking a opportunity in your workplace to actually do something that's going to have such a meaningful impact, especially for our youth.
Right. Right.
A community. yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Paul Tonneson, Executive Director of the Friends of the Children's Justice Center. Elise Ditzel, thank you so much as Director of Marketing for Maui Ocean Center.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot here today, I think, and hopefully if somebody wants to get a hold of you and find out more about either the Ocean Center or the Maui the Institute, what number should they call?
They should call 270-7000. So
Whoa, that's easy.
270-7000. Yeah.
And your website?
It's MauiOceanCenter.com.
Okay. And can they get from that to the...
Yeah, so you can go on the MauiOceanCenter.com website, and right there on the top right corner, buy tickets, and you can purchase that $9.95 special admission for this amazing evening.
Evening, right. And that again is December 6th. That's a Thursday night? Cool.
Thank you so much.
Any questions, anyone?
No, I just want to thank Elise and the Maui Ocean Center for making this possible for the Friends. So.
Great. And then the community thanks you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Hey, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. We got to shift gears now, and we're going to talk. Actually, it's not totally shifting gears. We're still going to talk about animals, helping distressed animals, right?
Right.
Although I think anything in the ocean is more like a mammal, isn't it? Or what are fish? Are they animals or mammals?
They're animals.
They're animals?
Yes.
Okay, now that I know, I've got the official answer to that now. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
And first of all, Happy Thanksgiving, right?
That's right.
So as I never knew what to say about a fish. You know, what does it belong to?
Well, and dolphins are mammals,
Yeah, the bigger ones. The bigger ocean creatures are mammals. Okay.
and the turtles are reptiles.
And the turtle's a reptile. Okay, keep going. Folks, you're listening to Don Hall, who is the executive director of Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation. You don't do too much with turtles and dolphins and whales and things. You're
We
the
don't.
dog and cat, mostly dog people.
We're mostly dog and large breed animals like horses.
Oh, okay.
Livestock.
And they're still just animals, right?
They're all animals. They're all mammals.
Oh, what can I say? What a this is your second visit to us since you
It
joined
is.
the nonprofit agency group, and we're glad to have you with us
Thank you.
and talk about what's happening. The dog population just continues to explode. Is that? I mean, are we seeing that? I keep hearing.
You know, we've seen. We partner with a lot of other animal rescue groups, not only on Maui but off island as well, and collaboratively, we've all been working to try to reduce the overpopulation issue. And we're starting to see some headway.
Oh, yeah.
The Maui Humane Society is a great partner, and they are very active in spay-neuter. They've got a very viable adoption program. We also have spay-neuter, which is a new ability, new service that we offer that we didn't have before, and we've continued to have very active adoptions. So we are seeing fewer and fewer dogs in the shelter and dogs coming to us, but it is still an issue, and it really comes down to education and,
Right.
working with the community.
Now, do you go out, do you find lost dogs, or do people mostly turn in animals to you?
For us, mostly people turn animals in to us.
Okay.
Or they're transferred from another shelter or rescue that's full to capacity, or maybe is unable to deal with a certain situation, whereas we may be able to address the situation with the dog.
I think the last time you were on, we were in the midst of all the activity from Mnpd over on the Big Island,
Yes.
and you were rescuing dogs from the various
were.
homes that before they were destroyed, kind of thing.
Yeah, we did. Well, it was kind of a twofold, as we were getting a lot of dogs from the Big Island due to the active lava flow, and that started to kind of simmer down a little bit, and then we had all these hurricanes over the summer and massive flooding also on the Big Island. So we had what we called our lava dogs, and then we had our flood dogs. So I'm really relieved that the lava flow is diminished and there's no flooding, so that's not bringing on the onslaught of dogs
Right.
that we were getting before, which is a little bit of a relief.
Well, and you had kind of a unique situation because you had a pilot who had a plane that could fly over there and pick them up.
We actually have a couple pilots we
Oh,
work
okay.
with. And they've been amazing. They donate their plane, they donate their time. We usually have to pay for the gas, which is nothing in comparison to what it would cost us otherwise.
Right.
And since May of this year, we've probably rescued and relocated, what do you think, Richard? 140, maybe 150
Wow.
dogs and puppies from the Big Island that were in jeopardy. Because what people didn't realize is that when those natural disasters were occurring there, is that the human shelters were full to capacity. Well, so were the animal shelters. And a lot of these families were living in their car or in tents, and it was so not stressful and hazardous. They have children, and it was just too much for the community to bear. So fortunately, we have a lot of wonderful rescue partners on the Big Island. And we have, the community came out just tenfold. We put it out there that we had all these dogs coming in, and we had people waiting in line for them, which was
Really?
fantastic. Every one of them's been adopted. They came and went, and without the community stepping up and wanting to be part of the solution for all these animals, I don't know what we would have, just way too many animals.
That's
but they've all
incredible.
come and gone, and so it's been a real blessing. We couldn't have done it without without the community, without the support of our donors, without our volunteers, without all of our amazing foster families.
So, and these are dogs of all shapes, sizes, ages,
You name
the
it.
works.
You name it. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Wow. That hasn't been that long ago that it
Nope.
could be 140 animals, and you wonder what were these people waiting for? Why now did they decide to help out or to finally bring home that puppy or
Yeah.
whatever? Richard?
We just had a gentleman had medical issues, had to give up his dogs. We took in some of them from the Big Island. We had two Chihuahua brothers that were 13 years old, had been together since birth. So the last thing we wanted was to separate these two animals. And this couple walked into adoptions this weekend and said, "Oh, we love these dogs. Tell us you're never going to separate them." And we're like, "Well, not if you're going to adopt them." And they filled out the paperwork and took them home.
Right then and there.
And so it's amazing. There's not one breed or one type of dog. Everyone's looking for something different to fit their family, and they get in line, and they're lined up at the Maui Mall when we get there on Saturdays with the dogs for adoptions. It's amazing.
Wow, more so than going for tickets for the movie, huh? That's incredible. That voice you're hearing is Richard Carr, who's the deputy director at Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation. Thanks for stepping in.
No problem.
It's amazing to me when I hear people talk about, when the kids get a little older, we'll look at a dog. Now they're too young; it'd be too much of a hassle. They're not going to learn how to take care of it. It's going to be me as mom doing everything. But then the story changes. As the kids get older, they finally take them with them and go find a dog. And then they bring the dog home, and it's like, when I get a spare minute without the kids, I'm playing with the dog. And I'm going, hey, that was something you didn't want to do. The dog was, the kids were supposed to take care of it. You can't resist a dog.
Well, it's amazing. We get a lot of parents that come and have children, and it's my belief that every child should have a pet, and every pet should have a child. And the statistics on all the benefits of children growing up with animals it's just through the roof. And a lot of parents say, well, we'll get one when my children are responsible. And I tell them, I said, well, they're not going to wake up one day and go, yay, Dad, Mom, I'm responsible. You have to teach them to be responsible.
Right.
And, giving them the care of a living creature that's going to love them unconditionally and be their very best friend. There's no better way to teach them how to be compassionate, caring, responsible.
Right.
And it's amazing, and these kids, we have so many kids that are volunteers, and they're fantastic. They're so bright, and they're so caring, and they're so committed, and they work hard, and, they really are a stunning example of, the future adult they will be,
Yeah.
and so
Gives you hope for the future, doesn't it?
absolutely. And I think parents have a tendency to underestimate what they really can do.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's possible. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
Welcome back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the radio show that talks about what's happening in the world of the nonprofit executive directors and their staff. And we're talking this afternoon in the second half of the show with Don Hall, who is the executive director, and with Richard Carr, who's the deputy director. And they're both with the Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation. And we're talking about my favorite subject, my dog, everybody's dogs. And this is the season, that It seems to me like there was a time when people said, don't get your kids a animal for Christmas.
Right.
You need to take the kids with you to go check out the animals and kind of let them be a part of picking out the one that, because they're going to have a better feeling about them. It's their choice. They feel a little more responsible. Is there truth to that, or can you just dump a dog on a kid?
No, I really think it's a family decision. My pets are my family, and I think a lot of people feel that way, and it's a big decision. And I really encourage, a lot of times we'll see maybe a husband or a wife, one or the others really wants a pet, and the other one not so much. So I really encourage the families to have a family meeting, talk about it, think about it, talk about who's going to do what before they make that decision, because it is a big commitment. And we find that when people do, take all the family members into consideration, their feelings, that adoption is much more successful in the long run.
The other question I have is that so often you hear, or at least I've heard, people go and like your adoption day is Saturday and Sunday at Whole Foods. They'll go down and they'll see what's there today, and they figure, well, they've made the decision, so they got to take one of them. And it's like, no, you don't. Because you don't have the same dogs there every day.
No.
And it's like, wait for the one you want. There's going to be one that looks at you with that special look.
Yep.
And you just can't resist them. And I said, well, no, you learn to love them. I said, wait, but why? Let somebody else who got that attention from that dog take that dog, and you wait for the one that's special for you.
Yeah. I see people typically overthink it. They have a picture in their head of what kind of dog what it's going to look like, what it's going to act like. And 99.9% of the time, that's not the dog you're going to end up with. And, if you listen to your heart and your instinct, it's going to guide you, because you are going to you look at the dogs and you'll go, oh, they're all wonderful, they're beautiful, they're great. But there's that one dog that's gonna touch your heart and is going to be the one. And if you trust that instinct, you're so successful. But if you get too much in your head, it's we see people do it all the time. And it's, we have people that come weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend, and they talk themselves out of every dog in the world. And it's so funny because we know the dogs. They live with us because we're foster-based, so we know them really well. And we'll go, here, this dog, this one really fits your lifestyle. Trust me. Like, no, it doesn't. It's not the right color. It's not the right size. It's not the right age. It's not a boy or it's not a girl. And so it's, the dogs are easy. The people are a little more challenging.
So in other words, we don't want dogs to talk.
Well, some of them do.
That's true. That's true. Mine
Yep.
talks to me all the time.
Yep.
Usually reprimanding me. Yeah. Do you ever have somebody who adopts, say, like on Saturday, and they come back the next Saturday and bringing that dog back, saying it's just not going to work?
They do. That's why we offer, we call it foster to adopt, because we know that it's a big decision, and you could have the best dog in the world and you could have the best family in the world, but it doesn't mean they're the right fit for each other. And so we allow people to do a week trial. They pick out the dog. They have to go through the adoption process so that is all taken care of. But they don't pay their adoption fee, and they don't finalize the adoption straight away. And that way, especially if they have other pets in the house, because you don't know if they're going to get along.
Right.
And that gives them the opportunity to see if it's a good fit. It also takes a lot of the pressure off. And that seems to, the lack of pressure to make a decision and the right decision, sometimes that gets in the way. And so removing that helps it be successful as well. Most of the foster to adopts don't come back.
Gotcha.
But it does give people that opportunity to try the dog out and make sure that it is a good fit, because we want them to be happy, we want the dog to be happy.
Right.
And we do in our contract when you do adopt from us is that if for any reason you cannot keep that dog down the road, even if it's years, that you'll bring it back to us, and we'll always willingly take it back.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Then you don't have the pressure, well, we don't want the dog. What are we going to do with him?
Yeah. Well, we look at ourselves as more of a safety net for the community and animal issues. Instead of really a problem solver, we work collectively with with the community as well as our volunteer base and other organizations, and together we are able to be so much more successful than if we are just going it alone.
If there's one thing that makes my blood boil, it's the idea of somebody taking a dog out in the country and letting him loose.
Yeah.
People think
Or
they're
a
doing
box of
good
puppies.
thing by it. And
I mean, I've heard both of those stories.
Yeah, and we've had people find boxes of puppies and shopping carts out in a parking lot before, and we had last year someone called us and they said, I think they were at Safeway or something in Kihei, and they said, there's a shopping cart and there's a box of puppies in it. What do we do? And we had them bring them to us right away, and they were had heat stroke terribly. They were almost ready to pass. And we were able, and it was just because these wonderful people felt that they needed to do something, and they did it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, because time was of the essence. That happens rarely, thank God, but it does.
There really are so many wonderful people out there who care.
There are.
They care about people. They care about animals.
Yeah.
And know that, who was it? One day somebody said something about, anytime I see a need, I try to help, because I'm hoping that somebody will do that for me.
Yeah. Well, it's like Elise was saying earlier, is that, if everybody did a little bit, then it would have a huge impact.
Right.
It's like if everybody in the world volunteered somewhere one day a month, it would change the world.
Right.
It's a little thing, but if we all do what we can, it makes a big difference.
Wonderful. Richard, you're shaking your head. Yes. You want to say something?
Richard, tell Susie about our new building.
Are we up and going?
Not yet.
We have footings going in this week.
Okay.
The building is on island, waiting to go up.
Okay.
Donna and Penny are the two founders for HARF, and they are just amazing. They've done everything out of their own trunks of their cars since the beginning. Their houses, both their husbands have funded HARF for many years. So in May, when I got to come on board, it's this whole, we're exploding and we're growing so quickly in all the right directions. Our building is going up, which is going to allow us to bring our rescued horses home so that we're no longer paying to keep them somewhere, which will reduce our bills. Our spay-neuter center went in, which we're now doing our own dogs and dogs for the public, which brought down a lot of our medical bills of having to spay and neuter all the puppies before we adopt them out. We just brought on Nicole, who is our animal transport person, and she is, at any point, she'll have 30 dogs in her little 900 square foot Ohana house. We just brought our humane educator on board, who will start in January. All of our programs are falling right into place, and it's just an amazing time to be part of this organization and to see we're breaking records. One day in October, we adopted out 23 dogs in one day.
Wow.
Literally just doing paperwork on 23 dogs in one day is a miracle. And so it's just, they're an amazing organization, and they do a lot for animals, and it's so great.
Now, HARF had the land, right?
In 2017, we acquired 10 acres out in Waihe'e.
Okay, and that's where the building is going.
Yeah, that'll be our future animal center. So
Okay.
building 1 is hopefully going to be occupiable by the spring.
Ah, cool.
Yep.
Great. Now, that's like a Butler building or something that you're bringing in? So it's
very
fairly easy construction.
Yes.
Yeah. It's all pre-paneled, pre-painted.
Yeah.
All they do is put them together and bolt them in the corners and put the roof on, and it's done. So then it'll take us a little bit of time to put in the plumbing, electrical, the office space, all of that.
Gotcha.
So, but the actual building should be up hopefully by Christmas.
Hopefully by Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, we're talking 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
We're working with some amazing fence contractors on the island to fence in the whole 10 acres and then put in our horse runs and the dog runs and all that to make sure that our animals are safe. But it's all coming together all at once. So
It's crazy.
You're not excited about this.
We're super.
Gary, don't they need to get excited about this?
We're super excited.
I think it's worth being excited about. That's great. So, but in the meantime, you continue. Will you still do the Whole Foods thing,
Yeah.
or will you have more stuff on site?
Well, what's nice, we'll have both. Is that we'll always do adoption events out in the community because we think that it's always been so successful and people really love it. So we'll always do that. But it'll give people an opportunity to come see the animals outside of the weekend, and because they'll all be in one place. And we'll have special needs animals in foster care and young puppies and things like that. But you'll be able to actually come out. You can see the animals, adopt the animals, volunteer. Participate in whatever we got going on. And we did change our hours though on the weekend. We used to be at the Maui Mall Saturdays and Sundays. But what we're doing now is we're no longer there on Sundays. But we're there Saturday and we're there longer. So we're there from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
And of course by appointment. So if you saw an animal on our website or our Facebook or on the weekend and you're like, oh, I really wish I would have, adopted that dog, and give us a call. And we're happy to accommodate you the best way possible
Gotcha.
because we just want to see those guys go home.
About how many dogs will you have with you when you go to Whole Foods?
Gosh,
we
it varies.
go anywhere. The least we've had on any given weekend is like 4 or 5 clear up to the weekend we did 23. We still took 4 or 5 more dogs home. We had almost 30 dogs
wow.
there
Yeah.
that weekend. So
How do you? I mean, they're all in travel containers kind of things?
We have pop-up crates. They're metal,
Okay.
and with our puppies, we have puppy pens. So everybody's safe. All our volunteers are trained on how to handle dogs and walk dogs, and fortunately, the Maui Mall has been very kind to us, and they let us use an empty space there, so we have a storage area for the bulk of our equipment, which has gotten to be a lot of stuff.
That'd be a lot of hauling back and
So-
forth.
and
yeah.
we already have a lot of stuff we bring with us. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, and of course, as I was looking through your website, I saw the 13 dogs that you had up there, and I'm going, oh, that looks like a cutie. And,
it's hard not to take 10 home every weekend.
Yeah.
So if someone, now you'll be going there Saturday,
Yes.
if someone looks at that list and says, hey, I'd like to see dog number 8, will you have him with you on Saturday? You'll make a point to bring him, yeah?
We always bring everyone that's available.
Oh,
so
okay.
if we have a dog that's maybe has some anxiety issues and is not ready to come, they won't be there. Or if we have an animal that's injured or puppies that are too young or anybody that's sick, they won't come. But if they're available and they're ready to go home, they will be there.
But we like to tell people, don't wait till the weekend, because at any point someone could call and take your dream dog home. So we do appointments all throughout the week. They can call and say, we'd like to come be able to see dog number 8. And we will arrange that so that,
Oh, okay.
that just frees up an extra spot for another dog coming in on
Exactly.
Right,
Saturday.
right.
Yeah, and we've got puppies. We had 6 puppies come in this morning, so
Wow.
they'll be there this weekend.
And now how old are these puppies?
They're 8 weeks old.
So they're just perfect
They're
for...
perfect age to go home.
go.
Yep, and
Oh,
they
except you have to train them.
that's all on the new owner.
Give
We're
me
not
a
responsible for
Give me a
that.
2 or 3 year old that's been trained and
I agree.
and understands how important it is to behave and
Not
how
eat your
good treats
shoes.
are and
Just want to mention real quick, too, really exciting coming up is Giving Tuesday. Everyone should pick their favorite nonprofit and write them a check. Unrestricted Funds does amazing things for all nonprofits. At HARF, we have an amazing donor who came in. Our goal this year for Giving Tuesday is to pay for all of next year's medical supplies. And our donor came in and is willing to match the first $30,000. So
Whoa.
we have a matching fund going on this Tuesday.
okay.
It's the 27th of November is Giving Tuesday, and it's a national
Right.
day of giving.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little media blitz thing. We have
Cool.
Facebook and website and email blasts all going out, but it's really amazing. This donor stepped up. She loves animals and she loves us, and we love her to death. And
Okay, so we got to speed this up. Do they call you or go to the website? Is there a donate?
There's a donate
Quick
button
thing.
on our website. You can also make a donation on our Facebook page. You can write a check and send it in snail mail to our address, which is P.O. Box 515, Pu'unene, Hawaii 96784. And you can always call us, too, if you have a question.
At
808-876-0022.
very good. Thank you all.
Thank you
Hey,
for
this-
having us.
I can't stop talking about puppies.
Next time we'll bring one.
Oh wow! Ouch.
it gets dangerous.
Oh,
Someone from the studio will go home with one.
That's right.
Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. We want to thank the folks from Maui Ocean Center for coming in and talking to us and telling us about what's happening at their Marine Institute and the special event on Thursday, December 6th. And we want to thank the folks from Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation who told us about their new building going up, and sounds like things are just booming over there.
Yeah.
I've got to come out and check that out.
Anytime.
We want to thank you all for joining us. Join us again next week, same time, same place. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host. I want to thank everybody and wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Have a great week and aloha.